Hey everybody, welcome to the Healthy SBC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Sutton. I'm here with Kimberly Warhurst with Kimberly Warhurst Hypnotherapy. And we're going to be talking about hypnotherapy because I have no idea what it is. And Kimberly's going to be just amazing and tell us all about it. So Kimberly, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just tell us a little bit about, introduce yourself a little bit, how you got into hypnotherapy.
Okay, so I'm Kimberly Warhurst. I was kind of looking for something that was different, something that would help a lot of people, that the market here in Shreveport wasn't saturated with, that, I felt like would really work out. And I come across hypnotherapy for myself, and I was just really kind of went down the rabbit hole. What all can you, and I had only heard about like smoking cessation or weight loss, or like fears.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea, anxiety, there's so many things that hypnosis can help with, and just simple anxiety, depression, grieving. It's so good for grief, and pain management, like anything you can think of, hypnosis can help you with it. And I was like, gosh, let me do some research. So I did research, and I found a school that I felt like was more legit, that was acknowledged by the U.S. Department of Education. And I said, okay, if the U.S. Department of Education says this school is okay, then I feel good about giving them my money. There's so many fly-by-night places that it's scary now,
Right.
So I went to school, and with every class I took, the more and more and more, I was just intrigued and amazed. And so I started doing, I finished school, started doing certification classes, like specialty certifications. Have a bunch of those. And we do continuing education every year. Take 2 classes a year for that. And just keep learning and doing more and more and more.
I love it. So basically, you're just looking for a way to serve the community that 25 other people weren't doing.
Right.
I like that. How long have you been a hypnotherapist?
So it'll be 4 years next month.
Okay.
And I've seen over 300 people.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Getting great results.
Great results.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, before the podcast, we talked a little bit about, the success rate of hypnotherapy. So tell me again, what were the statistics? It was like 98% or something?
93%. You get 93% recovery or better after 6 sessions.
Wow.
And that's average. I mean, I have a girl that come for just general anxiety, but it was starting to really kind of affect her whole lifestyle. Like, she didn't even want to go out and do anything anymore. She only came for 4 sessions, and she's done.
Wow.
So it's really fast. I have other people that they come for 6 to 8 sessions. They're better, but they're like, yeah, I'm going to come once a month. This is my self-care.
Right.
And they just like it.
Right.
A client told me that it's like getting a massage for your brain,
Oh.
but no one touches you.
I like that.
Yeah. It's very relaxing. You do feel very refreshed, hopeful, optimistic. You just feel good when you leave.
Yeah, I feel like my brain probably needs a massage.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah, I love that. So you started doing this. How did you grow this business?
Honestly, word of mouth is more than anything. I have several doctors that refer to me. I sent letters out in the community to, especially the doctors that I knew, like pain management doctors, doctors that I knew would do well. Cardiology, I get smoking cessation from a lot of cardiologists. And then I happened to see Dr. Jaya McSharma, and she just kind of went, okay, I'm taking you, and the people that come to me that need extra help, I'm sending them to you. And she's really big on the mind-body-spirit connection. And, if you physically don't feel good, you have to fix the mental stuff. You have to fix yourself inside out.
Right.
So we did that, and then I was on KTBS with her, and after that it just kind of became more word of mouth. And then I've noticed in the past year I've had more people Googling, like I always ask, how did you hear about me?
Right.
And so people are starting to Google hypnotherapy. So I'm still not sure, Jeremy, if it's are they learning about hypnosis and hypnotherapy, or are they hearing about that woman that does hypnosis? I don't know, but
right.
they're Googling more.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
Cool. Do you get them to give you a Google review afterwards, or since it's so private, do you?
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
I don't ask a whole
Right.
lot just because it is private,
Right.
and I don't share their information, and
Sure.
I wouldn't expect them to.
Yeah.
But several have. I
Right.
have several reviews, I think, on Google. I haven't looked in a while, but
Gotcha.
but I do get word of mouth, so they tell the people that they feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, to me, that's the biggest encouragement or vote of confidence from somebody is when they say, hey, I saw Jeremy, he did a great job, you need to go see Jeremy, or saw Kimberly, she did great. So talk about hypnotherapy. I mean, I think I told my wife a couple of days ago, my experience with hypnotherapy is the movie Office Space. You know, and she's like, you're
so
crazy.
great.
She's like, you're crazy. So tell us a little bit about maybe the small version of what is hypnotherapy. It's not anything crazy. It's not bad for you. You're not taking over people's minds. Just talk a little bit about that.
No, it's not mind control. Like I told you earlier, I have a 17-year-old daughter. If it were mind control, I would never have to do a chore in this house.
Yeah, I would be paying you right now if you could teach me how to control my kids.
Exactly, exactly. It's not mind control. It's not, I've had some really weird questions over the years. I cannot enter through your third eye and control your mind. That was literally a question. I was like, I don't even know what that means, but okay. So if I can, I don't know how, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
It's really just a state of complete relaxation that you're probably never going to experience on your own being awake. You are awake the whole time. You're not asleep. And then your mind is more aware, so it's open to suggestion. You are in control the whole time. You're never out of control. So at any moment, if you felt uncomfortable or unsafe, you can open your eyes and get up and walk out if you wanted to.
Right.
It's a very lovely experience.
Right.
It's very lovely.
So you're not telling me, you know, quack like a chicken or a duck and you snap and I start acting like a duck.
Right.
It's not the crazy stuff
I'm
we
not
say
a stage hypnotist.
Yeah.
No. This is for just, you know, that if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
This is just changing that mindset.
Gotcha.
Knowing that you can.
Yeah.
And you're capable of so much. And even with our physical health, I have a client who I've actually she's given me permission. She's like, you can talk about me, I don't care. But she had a little trauma, and after her trauma, she started getting some gut issues, and she had gone to gastrologist and several of them. She'd had scopes done and everything, and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. But clearly there was,
Sure.
because she was in pain, crying on the floor in a fetal position,
Right.
just with the stomach issues. So we did hypnosis, and we went back, you know, we released that trauma.
Right.
And talked about how you're fine,
Yeah.
you're fine. And all of her gut health issues went away. They all went away. It was just amazing. And she swears, she was like, you saved my life. I'm like, no. You saved your life.
Yeah.
So it's really humbling, and I'm just so grateful that the results that I see every day.
Right.
It's just, sometimes I'm just kind of in awe, you know.
Yeah.
So
you talked about you've been doing this for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do before? And so before you answer that, so as you're talking, I'm thinking, one, what did you do before? And then how did you make that leap into hypnosis? I know you said you wanted to do something different that not everybody's doing, but there had to be a moment where you're like, okay, is this a good idea? Or talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so before this, years and years and years ago, because I'm old, I was a hairdresser.
Uh-huh.
And then my husband and I got married, and he was in the Army, so we moved to New Jersey.
Okay.
So I didn't work there.
Yeah.
Then my mother had a surgery and become paralyzed.
Oh, wow.
So I and our kids moved back home, and I took care of her for 20 years.
Wow.
She was an incomplete quad, and I cared for her for 20 years until her death. and didn't really want to go back to doing hair, wanted to do something else. I was told by a million people, Kim, you just need to be a nurse, because I could do catheter care, I can do a wound vac like a pro.
Those are hard.
I do, I would give her a shot every now and again, and I could change the sheets with her laying in the bed, and they're like, Kim, you need to be a nurse. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I'll do that for my mama.
Sure, absolutely.
Not going to do that for somebody. I don't know that I could, because wound vacs are,
it's hard.
They're pretty gross.
It's pretty bad.
They're pretty gross. So I was trying to think of something. I knew that I wanted to do something that was helpful, that would change people's lives, and that would change my life in the process. And honestly, I don't know how hypnosis come to be. I saw something online one day, and I'm a Christian, so I believe in signs. Yeah. And something had come up somehow on my feed or somewhere, and I said, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And just kind of ignored it, didn't think anything else of it. And next thing I know, it's that whole internet thing where every time I turn around, it was popping up, and I was like, okay. Right. I'm gonna look into this. So I kind of went down the rabbit hole and just started reading about it and reading about it and reading about it. And I said, I think I'm going to do this. And so I told my husband, and my husband is very conservative in his beliefs and opinions, okay? And I thought, oh, he's going to be like, you're insane. But when I told him, he was like, hey, my dad quit smoking by hypnosis. Wow. And I was like, really? I never knew that. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I don't care. If it'll make you happy, do it. So I did more research, and other family members were like, that's stupid. Of course. You're never going to make any money doing that. You're never going to do this. You're never going to do that. That's dumb. That's dumb. I have friends that are family that were like, go for it. Yeah. If anybody can do it, it's you. Yeah, they're so great. And so I was like, you know what? If I fail, at least I can say I tried. Yeah. And I believe in this. And I have to believe that it was set in my lap for a reason. Yeah. And so I talked to my doctor about it. And he said, Kim, I think that's amazing. I think it's great. I think you should do it. We need you. And I was like, okay. So 2 weeks, I don't tell this story very often, and I might start to cry. That's okay. I like people. 2 weeks after, 2 weeks after I started, I got a phone call. The lady was crying, and she was the mother of a child who had committed suicide. And she didn't leave. Her and her husband didn't leave their house. They were on disability because of their depression. It was that bad. Wow. And for 4 years, they had stayed in their home and didn't go out, didn't do anything. And she said to me, you are my last hope. Oh, wow. And I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. What does that mean? Right. So I went to my doctor and I said, listen, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, you absolutely can do that. God sent that woman to you. Yeah. You've got this. Right. And I was like, what if I start crying? And he goes, then you cry. Then you cry. Maybe they need someone to sit with them and cry. So they came and we all cried. The whole first session, we all cried. And they started coming, it was August. And that Christmas, he went hunting for the first time in 4 years. They put up a Christmas tree for the first time in 4 years. And then in March, I think it was, they went on vacation. Oh, wow. And so... Such a huge turnaround. Oh, my gosh. And in such a short amount of time. Wow. So that's probably the moment I was the most proud. Yeah. Just so... You just can't put words on that. That was kind of your, this is going to work. This is I was like, this is what I'm doing this for. God, this is why I'm here. Exactly. This is my calling. Exactly. Yeah. And I have people call and they say, well, how much is it? and I tell them, like, my introductory session is $150. It's 2 hours long. I explain everything because I want you to be completely comfortable.
Right.
And I say plan for 2 hours, and then each session after that is $85, and it's about an hour long.
Right.
I don't charge by the hour. I charge by the session. So sometimes if I don't have someone coming in right after you, and we're getting somewhere, and it's an hour and a half, well, then it's an hour and a half, and you're paying the same amount of money. And I've had so many people go, oh, I thought it was going to be like $200 a session or something, and I'm like, no, because it's more to me about the numbers in the filing cabinet. That's my success, is how many files do I have as opposed to how many dollars do I have.
Yeah.
I want the number of clients.
Yeah, you want to help people.
Yeah.
Not because you're trying to make a ton of money, because you want to help people.
Yeah, I'm not going to get rich.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not what this is about.
That's right.
And that's not what this is for.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, basically what you're saying is you're serving these people at a very high level because they're coming in for 2 hours for a first session, which is pretty much unheard of in today's sick care that we have. And then after that, you just serve them even better. And, yeah, so I love that. Let's talk about, you don't have to get up and draw it out. We drew this out before, and I was just so fascinated listening to you talk about this. But talk about the 4 parts of the brain and how you kind of talk to that.
Okay, so there's 4 parts of your mind, not your brain, but your mind.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, not your brain, but your mind. Your primitive area is, you're born with it. You don't do anything to make it smarter. It has one job, and that job is fight or flight. Fight has the same brainwaves as anxiety. Flight has the same brainwaves as depression. So, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, or I just want to go away, cover up my head, and have everybody leave me alone. In the front of your mind, you have your conscious mind. Everything you do, see, think, touch, taste, smell, feel, hear, all that stuff goes in your conscious mind first. 8 to 12% of everything you do every day is conscious, which sounds a little scary. It's like, we're not walking around consciously. We are, but we're not, and it's perfectly fine. Everything comes in, it'll stay there for about 2 to 3 hours, and then it'll drop it down into your critical mind. Your critical mind, like I said, you stopped at a stop sign today. Nothing happened there. So it will never matter that you stopped at a stop sign. So through hypnosis, daydreaming, zoning out, that's hypnosis, or me, or when you go to sleep at night, you also go into hypnosis right before you hit your REM sleep. So it'll vent that information out. Doesn't mean you're going to see a stop sign, but it'll get rid of that information. Then it'll drop it down into your, if you need to keep it, it'll go into your subconscious. 88 to 93% of everything you do every day is subconscious.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, think about it. Brushing your teeth,
Right.
getting dressed, tying your shoes, eating, driving. Most of us doing our job, we don't even think about it. Me talking to you right now about this is probably very subconscious. I've said it so many times I can do it in my sleep. And so in your subconscious, you have knowns and unknowns. Knowns are things you know, you like, you're comfortable with. Unknowns are things you don't know, you don't like, or you're afraid of. So if you were attacked by a dog when you were 6, you're afraid of it. As an adult, that's okay. That's normal. It would be a normal reaction. But even though you know what a dog is, it's going to sit on the unknown side of your brain because you're afraid of it. The unknowns trigger the fight or flight. So, you know, anything that, like a fear of dogs, it's on the unknown side of your brain so that it triggers the fight or flight. Through hypnosis, I move dog from the unknown side to the known side. And we talk about how not every dog is going to attack you. And there are nice dogs, and, you know, make you more comfortable with the dog and put the dog on the known side so that it's more comfortable for you. And then next time you see a dog, you're not going to run up to it and grab it, right?
Right.
But you're not going to immediately go into that fight or flight
Right.
response. You're going to be more like, oh, okay, it's a dog. Yeah.
I love that. I think you do a great job of explaining that, and so you did it earlier, and I just loved it. So I wanted to hear you again say it. I love that. I got bit by a 6-pound Yorkie last Friday. So
that's the worst.
I've never been bit by a big dog in my life. In the last year, I've been bitten by a terrier and a Yorkie.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that doesn't matter. How I just love what you're doing. I think this is so fascinating. I think I say this a lot to people. This is one of my favorite interviews because I had no idea anything about hypnotherapy other than, what I've seen on some crazy movie, or anything I've seen on a comedy show or something like that. And so I think it's really important to educate Shreveport, Bossier City, that there is someone like you that's here doing this that can help a ton of people.
Well, and unfortunately, that's what most people know. They know the quack like a duck, whatever. And so, unfortunately, that probably kind of hurts. It tarnishes.
Stigma,
it tarnishes what I do, because what I do is very serious and it's very helpful and it heals a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. Even just stress relief, like people that are just stressed out. And I've had major stuff like, believe it or not, sexual dysfunction, and then there's grief, and there's exam anxiety, like kids. I've even had, which I didn't realize it was that big of a problem, but apparently my kids are just strange, which is, they're my kids, of course they are, right? So I've had several kids that they'll only eat like 6 things.
Wow.
So mom's having to make 2 meals. It's like, oh no, that is not okay. This is not Burger King.
Right.
I mean, you're going to get what you get and don't throw a fit.
That's
how we were raised, right?
That's how we were raised.
So we did hypnosis to try foods. And with kids respond very well because they live the majority of their day in hypnosis because they live in their imagination, right? So it works very, very well for kids, and they love it. Kids love it, weight loss, smoking, grief is amazing. If they said, okay, Kim, you have to stop what you're doing, you can only treat one thing, I would choose grief. Wow. It's a really amazing for grief.
What is it? Just breaking through those strongholds of, hey, this happened, I can't get through it. What?
Sometimes yes, and with hypnosis, we remind you that that person that you love, you didn't lose them. They're still with you in every fiber of your being. Right. Our subconscious mind it's just insane to me. For instance, my dad died when I was 21 years old, okay? And he was my person. He was my ride or die, for sure. My biggest fan. Every conversation I ever had with my dad, and every conversation I heard my dad have with someone else, is stored in a little file labeled Dad in my subconscious mind.
Right.
So through hypnosis, I can open that file and I can have a conversation with my dad and be like, Dad, what do you think about this? Well, because we've had so many conversations, my subconscious mind knows exactly what he would say, how he would answer, the inflection in his tone, and his facial expressions. So just for a minute, I can spend a little time on a bench with my dad, asking him to come sit with me and talk to me for a minute. And no, it's not real. No, it's not psychic. No, it's not, he's not really there.
Sure.
But my mind remembers.
Yeah.
So if anything, it gives you that peace of knowing he's still there with you. He's in your heart, he's in your mind, and you can hang out with him whenever you want, So yes, they're gone physically, but we have so many memories, and it's about, especially if the last time you saw them was a really traumatizing thing. Like I have a couple clients that they found their loved one. They're the one that found them. And that's traumatizing.
Sure.
So now that's all they have in their mind. Like they can't remember the good, smiling, happy person. They just, every time they think about them, they see that image. So we get rid of that image. That image is not important.
Right.
That's not what we want to,
we
want to focus on the best time.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's really, really great for grief. It's just amazing that you're still going to go through that process, the stages of grief, and you're still going to do that, but it eases it a little bit so that it doesn't seem so hard to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's amazing. I mean, my dad just died a little over a year ago, and so I completely understand what you're talking about with all of that, and also love that you brought that out, that hey, all these conversations you've had, I had my dad for 41 years, and so I can remember, we did this, or he would have thought exactly what you just said.
You know exactly
what
he would say about it.
How he would say it, how he would look at you, and
Mm-hmm.
I love that you brought that out.
Yeah.
And that hypnotherapy can help someone get that back too if they feel like they've lost it or whatever. Who would you say would be your ideal client?
Anybody who is looking for positive change, that wants to make the change.
Yeah.
You have to want it.
Absolutely.
You have to want to. You can't do it because your husband or your wife or your sister or brother or mama or daddy or doctor wants you to. Like, especially the smokers. I'm like, if you don't want to quit. I was a smoker. I smoked for years. My kids wanted me to quit. My husband wanted me to quit. My mom wanted me to quit. I didn't want to quit. But it took, I made them sit one day. I was like, this is stupid. I can't, if I'm going to do this, I can't hypnotize somebody to quit smoking and then go outside and smoke.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing that. It's time to quit. So I did hypnosis and for smoking cessation and quit smoking, but I wanted to. So if you don't want to, there's no medicine, no therapy.
Right.
No one's going to change your mind. It doesn't matter who they are or what they've got for you. If you're going to quit, you have to want to quit.
You have to be motivated.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Kim, I like to do a part of the podcast where I call it the Healthy SBC Spotlight, where you just kind of tell people how to find you, whether it be Facebook, give your location, phone number, whatever.
Sure.
You want to do.
So the website is www.shreveporthypnotherapy.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram under Kimberly Warhurst CHT for Certified Hypnotherapist. So it's Kimberly Warhurst CHT. And then on TikTok, it's just Shreveport Hypnotherapist. I have to look too, I forget. Shreveport Hypnotherapist on TikTok. And you can always Google, if you Google Kimberly Warhurst or Hypnotherapy in Shreveport, I pop right up.
Can they call you to schedule?
Absolutely.
What's the phone number?
318-218-1891.
Perfect. And then I like to give people about a minute or however long really you want just to talk about anything that's important to you, professional, personal, whatever.
Oh gosh, I just want to change. I want everybody to be happy.
Yeah.
I think that we can all win.
Yeah.
There's no competition, we can all win. We can all be happy and healthy and live in our best lives. And I mean, my God, wouldn't that be a better world?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that it really is a mind, body, spirit connection. I think a lot of times I have people that come and they're just like, they kind of come in, they've been my client, and they call me 6 months later and say, hey, I need to tune up. I say, okay. They come for one session, they sit down, they just kind of unload, and we do hypnosis, and they feel better. And I think that it's important, whether it's me or if you have a therapist or a preacher or whatever it is, I think it's important that everybody has somebody that they can go to and just kind of unload, just put everything down and go, okay, whether you cry or not, it doesn't matter. This is a 100% safe space. So I tell people, I'm like, listen, you might cry, and if you do, that's okay. I might cry with you.
Right.
But there's tissue. I think I should just go ahead and buy stock in Kleenex or Puffs or something. But there's Kleenex over there for that reason. People cry, and I think crying is cleansing to the soul, and sometimes it just feels good, pop in the Notebook or something and have a good cry. But no, I think that it's important that everybody has a safe space, whether it's, like I said, me or someone else. If you love them, stick with them. I'm not trying to take anybody's business. And like I said, I work with doctors and psychiatrists and even a therapist in town that I need to get in touch with because I've never met her, but I'm thankful. I'm always thankful for referrals, and I refer people too. So if you refer to me, I'm gonna send people back to you.
Yeah.
But therapy is a great thing. Of any kind of therapy, it's gonna make you better.
Love it. Kimberly, this is it's been one of my favorite episodes just to learn what you're talking about, and I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for letting me interview you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for coming. I'm excited.
Yeah.